I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was like, you look kind of like Spider-Man, Toby. He was like, yeah, that's because I am. And then this is the moment where I was like,
wake up in the morning.
I'm gonna make a video with my friends.
hey guys, so I'm gonna tell y'all a little story. We're gonna have a little story time together, okay? Okay, all right. This story took place 5 months ago, maybe 4. It was like that amount of time, around that amount of time ago. So I have these friends, and their names, I'm gonna call them Brittany and Ashley because I don't want, chill out. For the sake of like keeping their privacy, I'm gonna change their names to Brittany and Ashley. So I'm just chilling at home, and my friend Brittany's like, yo Nathan, me and Ashley about to go to this club. Do you want to come with us? And I was like, yeah, of course. We decided that, you know, we're all gonna go to this club night, whatever. The reason that this whole club thing came up is because my friend Ashley, she had this like model guy who had been hitting her up on Instagram like every day, and he kept asking her to come to this club, and she was like, well, I'm not gonna go alone. So she said, can I bring my friends? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And she was like, down. So we ended up going to this club. First off, by the time we Ubered there, we thought this guy had ghosted Ashley, even though he had been hitting her up every single day, because we stood outside the club for 30 minutes and not a message back. Like, she kept saying, hey, we're outside, and he did not say anything. Well, finally he comes out and he was like, sorry, I've been drinking. And he comes to get us, and then he takes us inside because apparently like, this club is like, I don't know, like you have to like know somebody again. I don't know, it's LA, whatever. So we start dancing, and the freaking group we were with, they had bottle service. The bottles just keep coming. They were paying for like a bunch of bottles, and we were like, we were just drinking it for free, which was awesome. But knowing myself, it kind of makes sense how this story goes off the rails. We start, you know, drinking, and it's all free, so we like get a good amount. We start dancing. It had been like an hour. The guy that had been flirting with Ashley and the one who invited us to the club, like, he was being kind of weird, and my friend Ashley wasn't really about it. Well, this other guy comes up to Ashley and starts dancing with her. And I was looking at him, and I was like a little drunk, and I was looking at him, I was like, this guy looks familiar. It's like, who is this guy? And then I realized who like, at least he looked like, and I was like, oh my gosh. So this guy's been dancing with Ashley for like a good 30 minutes, and we're all just like talking, dancing. I go on my phone and I go, Ashley, I think this guy's Spider-Man, and I'm about to show it to her, but he's like grinding on her, so he's like looking over her shoulder when I'm about to show her my phone, and I was like, oh, okay, I can't do that. Well, I asked this guy's name, I say, hey, what's your name? And he goes, yo, I'm Toby, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was like, you look kind of like Spider-Man, Toby. He was like, yeah, that's because I am. And then this is the moment where I was like, okay, so Spider-Man's dancing with my friend Ashley, and he's been dancing with her for like a good 30 minutes, 45 minutes now. And this is just normal, like this is fine. Pretty much, we just keep dancing with him, and it's totally fine. Keep on drinking, cause it's free for us. Well, this is where the night kind of gets even, like, this is where the night kind of gets awful. So I go to the bathroom, I come back out, there's this like, big old, someone's birthday, and they had a big old booty cake. Biggest thing ever, and it was shaped like a booty. Well, that's the last thing I remember. I don't know what happened. I guess I just kept drinking the free alcohol, and I blacked out. The next thing I remember was being in my bed with all my clothes on, just waking up like this. I had throw up on my shoes, and like I was home somehow. But the thing is, I drove to Brittany's house before we Ubered there. And my car, I definitely didn't drive home. I called Ashley, I was like, yo, what happened last night? I did not remember. Well, this is pretty much what happened. I started throwing up in the club. I threw up on Tobey Maguire. I just started throwing up everywhere. I started throwing up on Tobey Maguire, and then the club people went to my friends, and then they were like, yo, can like your friend like leave? And they were like, yeah, whatever. So they called me an Uber. I get an Uber. I get, I guess, halfway home. See, I'm just piecing this all together from like my Uber receipts. I get about halfway home. I guess I threw up in the Uber. By the way, I promise I've never thrown up in Uber except this time. This was just like a crazy night. I don't remember it. But apparently I threw up in the Uber, and they kicked me out of the Uber. And so I called my friend Brittany, and I was like, I don't know how to like, where am I? I'm not home. I'm like, I was like freaking out. I was like crying. I was like, Brittany, I'm like, I don't know where I am. Like, why am I not home? And she was like, I don't know, the Uber guy just like dropped you off. So then I called another Uber, I guess, for my phone. I got home, and I passed out. And then the next day, I called my friend Brittany, and she came and picked me up from my house, drove me all the way back down to my car, which should have been towed. It was in a towaway zone after 8 a.m. and it was 11 a.m. So it definitely should have been towed, or a ticket. Got there, not a tow or a ticket, which is amazing because in downtown LA, like, you get towed for breathing. And yeah, so that's like my story of how I threw up on Tobey Maguire. I found out that at the end of the night, my friend Brittany and Ashley went back to his place because he lived like a block away from the club. He's apparently there all the time. And they were gonna have like a threesome with him. He walked in the room with Ashley and then closed the door on Brittany. And Brittany was like, what? So Brittany just kind of like looked around the house a little bit, was like, oh my gosh, these cool pictures of him and his ex-wife and his kids and stuff. Then she just wrote him like a really long note for no reason about like existentialism and fame. And then she laid out like a bunch of books and stuff in and placed the note up so it was like a shrine to this note that she left him, and then she Ubered home. It's kind of interesting, but my friend Ashley did sleep with Spider-Man, so that was pretty cool. And after that she ghosted him because he kept hitting her up, and it was kind of like, for her it was kind of like a one and done type thing. So my friend ghosted Spider-Man. So that's my story about how I threw up on Tobey Maguire and how my friend slept with him and then ghosted him. So that's kind of...
I got a story for you.
What?
I have a story for you. It's really hot.
Is it really hot?
It's really hot.
I've gotten used to it.
Okay, so the story is actually for you guys. So this one time, me and Nathan were back in Missouri. It was one night where Nathan decided to get really turned. And I mean really turned.
But like,
so like with this story, he
makes
just
it sound like he gets turned all the time.
He doesn't get turned all the time, but when the times that he does get turned, he gets like,
yeah,
real turned.
I like blackout.
This was one of the nights that he blacked out, so just like the previous story, he probably doesn't remember. He got really turned, and of course I was DD, and I didn't really drink back then that much, like hardly at all. So I was always DD.
You still don't drink now.
I'm basically always the DD.
Always.
Anyway, so I was DD for Nathan. We were sitting at a park. He was super intoxicated, super blackout, and he's like, can we go to the gas station? I really want a cigarette.
Oh, this is this story.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the worst story ever.
This is the worst story ever.
I feel so bad.
This is the best story,
I wouldn't have done this if I wouldn't have. You're a different person when you're blackout drunk or just drunk, really drunk in general. I'm just saying I would not have done this if I was not blackout drunk, but I was blackout drunk, so like.
He's like, we need to go to the nearest gas station and get cigarettes now. And I was like, okay, perfect. I know exactly where we can go. We can go to Signal. Shout out to Signal. We love you. There's this cashier where, what is happening?
Yeah, like,
is this a time machine? Are we going to
Are we sinking?
Anyways, there's the, what the yeah. So there's this one attendant, her name is Rita. She is literally the sweetest, I don't want to say old lady because she's young, but
she's young for being old.
She's going there.
Rita.
Anytime we would go in there, she would always give us free Slurpees.
Not free always.
Every single time I went in there.
Okay, well, she only gave me a free Slurpee like a few times.
Every single time I would go in there. And sometimes she'd give us like free food and stuff. Like it wasn't just Slurpees. So
she never gave me anything free besides this like 3 Slurpees she gave me free.
But anyway, so I take Nathan to Signal. It's probably like 1 o'clock in the morning. You wouldn't know. 1 o'clock in the morning.
I was blackout. I found out about this the next day. That's how I found out about all my blackout stories is the next day. Like this could have not even happened. You could have been telling me this lie like all of this time, but I believe it. I believe it.
So this was one of the times where Rita obviously works the night shift. This is gonna be great. Rita's gonna get to see Nathan blackout, and it's gonna be great. I can't wait for them to exchange sentences. So you go up to the cash register. I started to walk out because I had already got my Slurpee for free because Rita. She got him the cigarettes. She scanned it and everything and set it on the desk. He was getting ready to pay. She walked away to do something else while he scanned his card and everything. She came back and Nathan was not there, and neither were the cigarettes.
I don't remember this.
So
I probably just thought I paid already.
Not only did we go in there at 1 o'clock in the morning with you blackout drunk, but you stole cigarettes when you came out. I was like, did you pay for those?
I get into some
and you literally said to me, you're like, of course I paid for them. I don't steal, Nick.
That's what I thought though. I don't steal. I don't steal. So I really thought I paid for them.
As soon as he said that, I was like, I'm gonna go back inside. I went inside and I was like, Rita, did he pay for those? She was like, no, it's fine. You know, I was young once too. Just let him be. And I was like, okay, I'm so
great,
sorry.
but I feel
I was like, I'm gonna bring him in here tomorrow so he can pay for him.
She never even acted weird.
She didn't. We literally went in there the next day, and she didn't say anything.
She was still her sweet self. She was like, hey, how are you?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure she gave us free Slurpees that night.
I don't know, what the how does that happen?
How could you steal from Rita?
I don't know, okay? I'm like, I was blackout drunk.
This is why you stay in school, guys.
This is why you don't get blackout drunk. Like, you shouldn't get blackout drunk. Sorry, Rita, and sorry, Tobey Maguire.
And sorry, Signal. I like that you just confessed to stealing cigarettes on YouTube from a gas station.
Well, I was blackout drunk, so...
And she said it was fine.
I love you, Rita. Thanks for not pressing charges. Guys, don't do that. I don't remember. I learned the next day I did it. I would not have done that if I had known. But either way, don't even do that even when you aren't in your right state of mind. That was the stories. Tobey Maguire, Rita, all these awesome people that I kind of screwed over when I was blackout drunk.
Hey, how many people do you know though that could say that they threw up on Tobey Maguire?
Yeah, how many people?
And 6 Ubers in one night.
It's 2. Don't be crazy. Oh my gosh, that Uber driver. Whenever I get drunk, I projectile vomit. So I probably projectile vomited on his car. It's my Uber pool too. I haven't been blackout drunk in a while. Good,
not since I've been here in October.
Yeah, in October I got blackout drunk at the club. Some guy like put his fingers in my mouth in the club. Another time. We'll save that for the next story time.
We'll save that tea for later.
But you guys are awesome. I don't really know how to do a montage of this because it's literally just gonna be us sitting talking. Go follow Nick. I'm Piland. Stay weird.